welcome back to Pod With Us. I'm Daisy.
And I'm Michael, and this episode is a continuation of episode 2, the engagement story.
Ooh, the how we met story. This is the engagement story.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, last episode was, how we met. But now we're just going to talk about how we actually got engaged. And it's going to be a bit more of a me talk than a Daisy talk today, because I guess all the planning was me.
Right.
All my responsibility, and the pressure was pressuring.
On you.
On me.
But before we get there, have you been? Have you been, sir, since our last episode? How have you been?
I've been alright. I've been good. I can't complain. Life has been good. When it comes to me and you, in terms of how I've been, I'm trying to be more intentional. Not just being romantic, but being, more vocal in how I engage you in your day. So, obviously, this is not new to you. I'm not saying it just for the podcast, but I'll say to you in the morning, I'm really, really glad that you woke up today because I get to choose you again. Those kind of things are like, rather than just say, oh, I love you, I will say things like, I choose you. Yeah. Because every day we choose each other, don't we?
Yeah.
We choose the new person that has grown today more than yesterday.
You choose to stay with that person.
You choose to stay with that person. It's a decision every single day. I will have and hold you. I will. It's like my will is always perpetual. It's always present every single day. So how have I been? It's been a bit more intentional. How about you? How have you been?
I mean, I was just going to say, child, I've been good because the weather's changed and it's a bit cooler, but now my response sounds so whack compared to yours.
Your response is your response where you're responding. So just respond from where you are.
I mean, the typical British response talking about the weather. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the temperature has cooled down a lot in the UK, and thank God, because I am one of those people who I am not a summer babe. I am not.
Yeah, you don't like the sun, do you?
I am not a summer babe. I was born in June, so I'm definitely a summer baby, but I'm not for the heat. This whole heat wave situation was not for me. So I'm really glad that we're in autumn. The temperature's cooling.
Autumn is arriving. We're kind of in between that summer-autumn phase, aren't we?
I think the nighttime definitely gives me autumn.
Yeah, it's kind of like getting darker quickly, isn't it?
Right? Yeah. And it's getting cooler. Even during the day, like even now.
Even last night, it was really cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm so happy that we're getting into that because my favourite seasons are autumn and spring. I feel like I was made for those seasons because, a babe can function without heat overwhelming her and without the cold killing her. So I just feel like autumn and spring are my seasons and we're getting into autumn and spring.
Bring on autumn as it comes.
But autumn.
Bring on autumn as it comes. It's literally here. It's knocking at the door, if it's already here. So
yeah, that's how I am. So should we dive in from where we left off? Where did we leave off? So we left off at, the whole, just a quick summary. We met, how we got there, the whole friend zone situation, the whole who should have paid, who shouldn't have paid.
Seriously, that friend zone was just brutal for me. You got to hear it.
We've been there. We've done that. Okay, we're not reopening that wound again, Mrs. Celestine. Okay.
Obviously, the wound healed because I want to tell you about my engagement story. So I was already committed to going past that point because we're definitely continuing by God's grace every day, but we were at the point where we just expressed that God gave me the dream and I pretty much dreamt the whole proposal. I'm here sharing it with you out of my oh my gosh, you would never believe what a strange dream I had. I dreamt that we did this and we went here and we went there, not knowing that I'm literally describing the whole proposal that you had planned out for us, and you're obviously on the phone having a little mini breakdown but keeping it real cool cucumber. And yes, I guess it kind of starts with my birthday. You had said that you wanted to take me out for my birthday. And that was the perfect cover. Because I was like, how am I going to... Because you were very sharp in certain things. Like if I tried to hide a present or if I tried to do certain things, you was like, I know what this guy's up to. I was like, how do I find the perfect cover to execute the engagement event without you thinking this is an engagement event?
Right.
Because I had to ask you to do your nails and to get your hair done and to buy your dress and all those things, which I'm thinking there's no other reason in this calendar year where I would do this outside my birthday, outside of a Christmas or any other special event, if it's not one of those things. So I was like, it was perfect. So I said, right, birthday's happening. Your birthday's on Tuesday or Wednesday, I think. that Saturday I was like doing something on your birthday, and I was like, perfect time to make it a big thing, right? So I could invite all your friends, all your family, and say, come for a quote unquote birthday party, but giving them the lowdown. And I can whiz you around different places, take you to special places and different landmarks. You're thinking, oh, it's my birthday. And then I can drop that moment in and be like, surprise, what's your answer? And this is what this episode is about. It's just really me just lining out what I did best as I can to give you the nice, short, sweet version, because a lot went into it. Because obviously you heard last episode, Daisy was like saying this engagement was just 10-10 for her.
It really was.
I just want to explain.
It was and hold on, disclaimer. I don't want to hear no one saying he should have, he could have, but this, but that, because it went for you, okay?
It went for you.
We're just going to start there, okay?
Okay.
Because this was perfect for me. And I feel like this proposal was very thought out and very special for me. And you put in a lot of thought, and I know a lot of people would have loved a moment like this. And I certainly did. So, yeah, we're just going to start there, okay?
So let's start there. Let's start at you. So I think at this time I only had known, you know, a 6 months, 5 months old relationship, Daisy. I was like, I don't have years of experience in the library of, you know, things you like and things you hate. I was like, I had to just really pay attention to the last 5 months. Yes, speak to your best friend and get the extra bits and pieces that I needed. But I was like, I really had to make sure that I was listening, did something that was free for you. And there were a few key things that you wanted to make sure this event was marked by, surrounded by the people you love, especially people that were really important to you. They had their moments with you, and you like big grand gestures and things that made sense and things where you can connect the dots. And I was like, okay, I can see if work this all in. So I literally said, at the time, where can I take you? There's a really big open space. You know, I had to call around. I took you to One New Change, opposite St. Paul's, which is like a bit of a shopping centre district on the corner of New Change Street. And at the top of that building, you've got a really big wide terrace, and you can see literally all around East Central London, and right in front of you is the St. Paul Cathedral. So obviously it offers up really good sights, the sun. I planned for the engagement to be at the sunset time, so I booked the table at this particular time and made sure that when you're on the terrace, on the roof, when I'm on my knee, the sun's about to kiss the sky, all that bits and pieces. I was like, right, let me just line it all up. And I did the best I can.
But see, this is what I was saying in the last episode. Guys, if you were here in the previous episode, you would have heard me say, when guys tell the story, they just don't do it justice.
All right, guide me through the story.
You've skipped so much.
Tell me through the story. What's
so much. Okay, we got to start at the beginning, because at the beginning, you showed up to my house in the morning and said you wanted to take me for breakfast. So at the time, having a full brekkie at the cafe was our thing.
Forgot about that.
See? You just don't. This is what I'm saying.
Wait, actually, now that you say it, there's a part that comes into mind. It's really important I say.
It's so important.
Okay, so I came to your house thinking this is going to be a long day until we eat. So, yeah, breakfast. I took you to the cafe. Made sure that you were just... I made sure that you were showered and whatnot. And then we took you to the cafe. And then we had breakfast. And then, what? It was half an hour thing?
A bit longer than that, but yeah.
It was literally a 2-minute walk from the house we were at the time. Came home and I was like, okay, get ready.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember this. Daisy was getting ready, so I wasn't obviously with her, so I can't really speak on what she was doing upstairs, but she was taking ages.
No, but before you said...
Hours. Oh my gosh.
No, wait. We're going to get to the hours, okay? Because beauty takes time. But before that, remember when we were at the cafe, we were having a conversation and you were talking to me about our journey, our past, the things that have led us to this moment and the things that have led us to this point, and what are the things in our journey that we have maybe like... traumas that we've perhaps been through or things in our past that have
gosh, I remember something else.
Yes, duh!
We had that conversation.
Things that had negatively impacted us.
And then I asked you to write something down on paper. Yes, I asked you to write down on paper 10 things in our past that we just... So basically this was us showing or confirming or revealing, quote unquote, the skeletons in our closet.
Right.
Things in our past we didn't want to take forward into our future.
Into our new relationship.
We write it down. Then you did your thing. We went back to the house.
Yeah.
We went into the back garden.
Yeah.
And then I said, right, here's a box of matches. We're going to burn up the list.
Literally. And from this point on, those things cease to exist.
We're not going to bring it up in discussion with each other or debating with each other. Those things we're never going to bring up in Yeah, in a way that can hurt each other.
Yeah,
if we bring
like
up in
a
discussion,
malicious way.
Exactly.
Like it's done, dusted.
That was good. Yeah, that was good. I remember I was wearing my black jeans. I was wearing my blue top. You was wearing your pink. No, you was wearing your trainers. You was wearing like a
blue jeans and a black top.
Black top. Yeah, I remember that. And it's at the bottom of a garden. I remember there's a picture on my phone actually. That's just flashing before my eyes. And then that was done.
Yeah.
And then you went in and you went upstairs.
Then you said to me to get ready.
Then get ready. And then off you went for doing whatever you got to do to transform yourself and to get ready for your birthday.
I mean, I had to do my hair. I had to do like my makeup. And then I had 2 outfits that I was choosing from. So me and my mum were going back and forth. She'd be like, you look cute with this.
So when you was upstairs, I was like, okay, so I'm just chilling. Your heart's beating. I'm looking at the clock thinking that she's taking longer than usual, but I planned it. I was like, this girl's got black timing, so I'm going to make sure I put an extra 2 hours on the time I gave you and the time that actually things were booked by. So I was kind of calm. So I utilized those hours by saying, let me just, what am I going to say to her when I ask for her hand in marriage? So I was literally pacing up and down the living room, into the dining room, into the kitchen, because the way that our house was like a long kind of like walk through space. And I was practicing, reciting to myself, you know, there are many men, I'm not going to say it because it's a sacred thing I said to you.
Yeah.
But I recited my poem. I said it over and over. I said, I can't. I was looking at my phone. I was like, I can't say this. I can't have my phone in front of me. I've got to say this off the chest.
Yeah.
And then your mum came down and then she was like, ooh.
She's ready.
She's ready. I was like, oh my gosh, let me get my phone. And literally when you walk down the stairs, I was like, wow. This is not the same person I walked up. She came down. I'm like, from the shoes to the dress to the jewelry to your face, and then your hair and the clutch bag you had, and everything was just bag. What was it?
No, I said, the clutch bag.
Oh, the clutch bag. Oh, yeah. We'll get to that in a second. But I was just blown away thinking, wow. I said, stay there, let me take a picture of you. Got the picture, man. I've got these pictures are flashing as if it's on my phone right now. I'm going through down memory lane with these pictures. Anyway, I'm celebrating you. Then I can see you feeling awkward, so I stopped all that. I just couldn't stop gushing over you. So I said, fine. Got the car keys, in the car went, and off. To
be honest, I should have. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should have known at these points. But I guess because it was the first birthday we were celebrating.
Like, didn't you know?
But I think because it was the first birthday that we're celebrating with, I didn't know. Maybe this is how he is. Or every birthday, maybe every birthday I have, he's gonna be hyping me like this. You know,
the standard, didn't I?
You really did. No
That's another episode.
That's another episode in itself. But yeah, I didn't know. But now that I'm thinking back to it, I should have known. But yeah, so anyway, we get in the car.
That's why the birthday was a perfect cover.
Yeah.
Because even though you had suspicions, you're like, but it's my birthday.
Exactly.
It's always, but it's my birthday.
I'm thinking he's trying to lay it up, like he's trying to get them points. He's trying to really seal this deal.
I'm trying to impress you, because at the moment, a ring is still isn't on your finger.
Right.
So off we go in the car, we drive down. And I think we drive down, and I've already planned for the photographer to be there. Right. I already know that we're going to be at that space. I already know that people are going to be at this particular area, and I already know what's going on because I spent that time planning and making sure, even before the day, things are in place. So we're driving, and
you didn't tell me where we're going. You just said it was all a surprise.
Definitely no. We're just going to go. You was obviously in the car, just taking pictures on your phone, music, and that kind of stuff, keeping you in a good vibe, which is what I needed you in. The more happy you are, the more likely you are to say yes. You know, just increasing my odds of success. But we drive in. It's not a long journey. 30 minutes from where we were, and we drive along, and I get a phone call from the photographer saying there's a problem. They're not letting anyone up on the terrace. And I think I said in the car, I was like, no! I was like, this is the moment I'm going to ask you to marry me. Anyway, I literally said to the photographer, please just sort it out, man. I'm asking you. And I've got to say, I won't say this person's name,
but shout out to
this photographer.
Shout out to
not
her.
just the photographer, but for a certain season in our lives, we were very closely linked in youth ministry.
Yeah.
We were...
she was a really good friend.
Yeah, really good friend.
She's still dear to us.
Just, wow. I'm telling you, that would not have happened if she did not do what she had to do, speaking to security, etc., etc. So,
and even the shots that she took, fire!
500, 600 photos.
To this day, fire.
Within that 20-minute space, it was just incredible. But anyway, we arrived, and she just told me, okay, Mike, she called me back, and she said, Mike, just say your name. And that was a text message. I'm reading the messages that go along. So Daisy doesn't know this. She goes, just say your name. All you got to do is just say your name. So I'm like, okay, fine. Having complete faith that she sorted it out. So I'm driving in confidence, but my heart is beating, thinking this could be a complete failure.
Right.
But I go in faith. I'm like, God, where my feet go, I claim the promised land. So off I go. We now park. I found a perfect parking space. Slide the car into there nicely. She comes out the car, and then immediately I'm seeing what the commotion is around the lift area that takes you up to the roof, to the terrace on the roof. Was surrounded by people, suited and booted, all kinds of people.
There was like a whole queue as well.
Like a queue.
One lift was like blocked out.
Yeah.
And only one was functioning.
Exactly. So I was like, okay. So I'm guiding you. I'm holding your hand and I'm guiding you toward these people and then through these people. I'm telling people, excuse me. I'm literally jumping past the queue.
Literally.
And I'm like, all I gotta do is drop my name. That's what I gotta do. She told me to drop my name. So I go to the security guard, the person who was manning the lift at the bottom, and I was like, Michael. And then there was like, oh, cool. Bing! Lift opens up.
And can I just say, you've so underplayed that moment, because for me, I was like, shit, he's my man. That's my man. My man, that's him right there. Right there, that's him. Because I was like, there's a whole queue of people. You just pulled me past them. They're looking at us like, huh? I'm looking back at them like, okay, I'm just going where my man takes me. And then we get to the front. There's one lift that was not functioning. And then that's you just said, hi, I'm Mike. Or I'm Michael. And then she's like, oh, hi. And then she just pinged the lift.
Literally.
And we go into the lift.
But it's so funny how you say that I'm Michael, but me, I feel like my words can't even, my name can't even fall out my mouth. My own name is they're stumbling, falling out my mouth.
Oh no, baby, you said it with confidence.
Mad difference between how I felt and how I was showing up to you.
It came through with confidence.
So perfect. So in the lift we go, there's balloons in the lift.
Beautiful, stunning
You come
balloons.
in, and as a list of clothing, people like say, who are these people?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking,
where did they go?
I'm that guy. When I mean that, I've overcome the first hurdle of failure. I was like, it can only get better from this. So I know, I've already scouted out the area. So I know that when you go out the lift, turn left, that's the area you're. So the lift now opens up. I'm seeing the bar area full. I turn to the left and there's another cordon with a security guard.
Yeah.
But obviously I've got a bit more confidence now. So I go to the security guard and I'm like, I nod my head up like, my chin flicks at him. Yeah, Mac. He looks at me, he goes, oh, okay. He looks at you, he's like, so then he opens up and I guide you in, and this space was made into like an open air movie theatre, but no one had already been in that space.
Yeah.
And they didn't take the whole space, so the back of that space, which is I wanted, was completely open.
Yep.
Think 2 or 3 tennis courts side by side, massive area. So we walk, I take her to this, what's going on? I'm like, don't worry about it, I got you. And I'm just sitting there, standing there, and allowing her just to take in the space. And I know that the sunset is coming at this particular time, and St. Paul's is looking limestoney, orangey, and whatnot.
Stunning.
And then I turn around and see my photographer just start taking photos. I'm like, this is perfect. So she's turning around thinking, okay, so what's next? So when you turn around, I'm already breaking my kneecap on the floor.
Yep.
And this is where me thinking, right, this is the moment.
This is the moment.
Right? And I'm about to say, recite my poem. Yep. And I said my poem, and then the magic word was, will you marry me? You're just like, and I'm about to grab your left hand, but what was in your left hand? Your clutch bag.
Guys,
so naturally, you move your clutch bag from your left hand to your right hand.
To my right hand.
And you allow me to have your hand.
But in the panic of everything, because I'm just like, I'm so nervous, this is the moment, oh my gosh, and then everything is just playing in my mind, and I'm thinking, how did you not see this happening? All the signs were there.
But you wouldn't, because you're just locked into the moment.
I know, but I was also just thinking like, this, like, Daisy, this is it, oh my gosh. And then and then I'm in like these really high heels. I had like some 10-12 inch heels at the time, and then I'm just kind of wobbling about a little bit because I'm so nervous.
Exactly. So you put your hand for stability,
to like stabilize myself.
That your clutch is in your hand.
And what happened?
And the clutch falls out,
fell
and it
down.
slides off to the edge of the building, literally, outside of the safety barriers.
Literally.
And you're just like, my clutch. The question. The clutch.
And guys, I cannot even emphasize enough how this happens. My clutch falls down just as he asks me, will you marry me? So I'm there like, my clutch! And then he's pulling my hand back to be like, will you marry me?
And I'm thinking to myself, this question is not going to come your way again from me. There's no way.
You better answer right now, girl.
So I think you kind of like understood the assignment.
Yeah.
And you was like, right, forget the clutch.
Yeah.
And you was
Let me just lock
you
back
answered
into
the question.
Moment.
Thank God you gave me a great answer. You said yes. And we got up, we hugged. And you were just looking at the ring. You had your moment. And I kind of told the guy, do you mind getting facilities management to get the clutch? But
they were on point, because actually when you now went over, they were kind of like, yeah, we saw everything, don't worry, we were on it. They had already radioed down. There was already a guy putting on his safety harness to like climb down the side of the building and get my clutch for me. And it gave us perfect time anyway, because that's the time we spent taking photos.
The photographer revealed herself.
She came out and
she was like, full of tears. She was bawling. She was like, oh my God, I couldn't even see the lens. It's just all blurry.
It was so beautiful. And then took our photos.
Yeah.
Got my bag back. Mm-hmm. They managed to get the bag, and then you were kind of like, you know, we kind of said, oh my gosh, amazing, perfect. And then I was like, I'm starving at this point. I was like,
I had it planned out.
And this is the genius part, because he got me to say I was hungry. So I felt like it was my idea and my plan and me who initiated this. But obviously he knew that this was coming.
I want to just put this on the record. She says genius. So
oh gosh.
I'm going to take that. And it's now locked into
the Chronicles.
All time.
But before we even got there, I think one of the most special moments of this day,
which you didn't know,
which I had no idea what we were doing.
This is all part of the planning. I'm thinking the first person who should know was somebody very, very special to her.
Yeah.
Who was experiencing the last moments of his life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my uncle at the time was battling with cancer, mm-hmm. and he was in hospital, literally end of life. Oops, sorry, little message there. End of life. So my uncle at the time was battling with cancer, and he was in hospital, literally on end of life care at the point. And that was our first stop. So Mike surprised me with, I thought we were going straight to the restaurant, but then we took a pit stop at the hospital. And he was like, I know that obviously it's really important to you to have him a part of this day, which it super was. And the photographer came with us, so she was able to take photos with us and them. And I didn't realize how important it would be to take photos with him because of what was going to happen next. Mm-hmm. But even if the last part hadn't happened, that part in itself was just so special. The fact that you thought of my uncle and including him, and obviously you understood how important and special he was to me at the time. And
that was something that you shared with me when we was getting to know each other during the last 5 months at the time. I was like, this is important to her. This person is important to her. And it will also be important to him.
Yeah.
You know, because you want your last moments on earth of life to be filled with happy ones.
Yeah.
And he loved you so much.
He did.
And I thought it was so important for him to be the first human outside of me and you to really give you that congratulations.
Yeah. And he was so happy as well, and so proud.
I saw him. I was just I stepped out of the room for a minute. I was like, let you have your private time together, and you came out and said, you ready to go? But he was so happy for you. And
I think that's when I said, oh, I've worked up an appetite. And I was like, I'm starving.
Before that, but I think that you confirmed it. It's like, yeah. So in the car we go, and I think the last stop now of the evening is literally to go and eat. Well, obviously I've already planned your family, friends to be there. I booked out a whole floor in a restaurant. I was like, 50 people, I'm just going to put you up there. This is what I can pay for at the time. And just going to take you there. So we drive, and you were thinking, why is the photographer at the back? I'm like...
That's the part that I was just so confused, because I'm thinking, okay, we're going to eat. I'm imagining an intimate meal between the two of us, but then, you know, our friend who was the photographer of the day is still with us. So I'm thinking, okay, girl. And she's like, yeah, I'm really hungry too. So I'm thinking, so what, the three of us gonna be sit down for this meal? Like, what? But then I thought, okay, it might be cute to have her come, and maybe she can also get some snaps of us at dinner as well.
Exactly.
So I was kind of thinking, okay, we'll see how this goes.
Everything had the plausible deniability to it. So like, that makes sense. Even though it's strange, I can see how that can... Right. So I kind of had to rely on her thinking, hopefully she doesn't not dive into it too deep to find out the corners that weren't covered. But it was enough at the time. I think you were overwhelmed again with the being engaged, seeing your uncle, and then off you go. And obviously you're super hungry, and everyone gets hangry in mysterious ways. But we get to the place, and my last obstacle was, look, she could see everyone at the top, because when you come into the restaurant, you can see that mezzanine level, and everyone might be like, so I'm just telling my photographer, everyone needs to just be completely
silent.
I don't need anybody giving away anything. So as we come in, I'm deliberately distracting your attention. So as we go around the staircase goes into a spiral. So you instantly face the area at least 2 times. So I'm just like, as we go around, I'm like, oh, let's take a look at your ring. What do you think about it? So you're looking down, and I'm guiding up the stairs. And when you turn around, I'm like...
You were so slick with that.
I had to make sure.
Did not even...
Man. I was like, I cannot get it ruined at this point. And everyone's watching. So we go up to the stairs, and then, again, if you turn right, as you walk into the mezzanine walkway, bridge level, if you turn right, everyone is there. So I take your attention to the left. I'm like, oh, by the way, I told the restaurant to put a fake... chair and table there to make it look like
for three people. And I was like, what?
And I was like, well, the table was bare. It was barely even big enough for 2 people, let alone 3 people.
And then it was in like some corner that I was just like, is this a joke?
I was super serious. So I was like, right, we can either sit here or we can sit over here. And you looked over, and everyone was like, surprise!
I remember that roar. It was like, I know, looking back on the videos and stuff, it was really loud. But in my head, it was like a roar. I just remember hearing, surprise!
And I was still stood next to you. I felt your whole body was like the shock.
I was shook.
You were literally shook. Shooketh to the King James version level.
Shooketh. Like, I think I even dropped to the floor.
Like, back to the 1600s.
It shook me back in time. I was literally like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And I think just seeing the ocean of people, well, it wasn't an ocean of people, but
to you, it was.
In that mind, in my mind at that moment, it really was. Because it was like your family, my family, our friends, mentors, members from church. Like, it was just everyone, and it was just amazing. It was the perfect way, because I think that's what made the whole day so perfect, because I think I would have been overwhelmed if you proposed to me in front of all those people.
It's like, I gotta say yes, but I may not be ready to say yes.
And even though I was, you definitely would have got a yes from me, because we had obviously discussed this before. But I love the fact that the proposal itself was private, and it was just us two, and we had that moment, and then we could now go share the moment with the world. And I think that's what made it, even the visit to my uncle, even more special, because now having seen that we were going in to share that moment with everyone else, he was the one person that would be missing from that I would have wanted there. So it would have really upset me, I think, going home thinking I had an amazing time, but I just wish he could have been a part of it. But you thought of even that. So it was... Oh, yes. It was perfection. It was amazing.
It felt perfect. It felt good. And I was just so happy to see you happy. You were glowing. There was a sense of fulfillment to you and a sense of happiness to you. And I was just happy to be here where you were alongside me, and for me to be where you are alongside you. And everybody was there. We had the cake. We cut the cakes. We had cupcakes, and everyone went home at the end. And I took you home at the end, and me going home. And then the next day, you sent me a picture saying, babe, I've got a rock on my finger. And I was like, yeah. That's yours. So that was the beginning and end, I think, of our engagement story.
And I think one of the most special things about the whole getting to know each other stage, from getting to know each other to getting engaged, even to getting married, actually, because obviously we got married literally 2 months after that. But I think it was the essence of the time we spent getting to know each other. Even though it was so short, it felt like it was quality over quantity.
Yeah.
It really felt like even the thought that you put into all of that just assured me so much more how much you had paid attention to me, how much you had like really listened to conversations and things that I had said in passing that to me didn't even mean much, but you'd taken note, like you had thought of that. And I guess it was reciprocated on both ends, but it just goes to show again, and I say this all the time to everybody, like one of the things about proposals that I guess I've never really understood is that essence of the fear of, is she going to say yes? Because I feel like the way you propose should be a surprise, but the fact that you're proposing should not be a surprise.
Yeah.
I feel like you should have got into a place in your relationship where you've discussed that and you've both said explicitly, I want to go to the next step with you. I want to share my life with you. I want to share this experience with you. So that person's willingness to participate in a life together should not be a surprise or like will this happen? And I feel like that's the first time us being in that situation was the first time I understood the importance of that, because like I said to you, it would have been a yes no matter where you asked me and no matter how you asked me. That yes would have definitely come. It was just more so a question of how comfortable I would have been with the scenario rather than the yes. That yes was guaranteed. And I think that was probably one of the key things that I learned throughout that process, that I really understood the power of that essence of, it's not, the surprise isn't getting proposed to. The surprise is how you choose to propose to me.
And I would agree with you in that one. I mean, my life lesson that I've learned in that period was, for men, choose. Take courage, choose, and be intentional in your choosing 100%. And follow through and choose. And in my reflections on how I was doing, as you asked me at the beginning of the episode, was, how am I doing? I'm still choosing. I'm still deciding to choose you every single day. Being intentional and saying, I'm happy you woke up. I'm glad God gave you breath today. And I choose the person that I see today. I choose who you are today. I'm choosing how the person that's growing today. And I'm trying to make an intentional habit of keeping that mindset of choosing you today, choosing you tomorrow, and the rest of the days that we are together in this marriage. And I guess the next episode to come will be just opening up parts of our marriage and opening up different topics about marriage and how it's been so far.
Definitely.
As you pod with us.
Yeah. So definitely, guys, I hope you have enjoyed hearing about how we have gotten to know each other, how we met, the proposal, and I guess the story of how we got married and what that day looked like. And that journey starts from the next episode. So make sure you tune in and check us out on Instagram at _pod_with_us. Drop us some questions. Drop us some
tell
statements.
Us your stories. You want to learn how you engaged, how 100%. You decided, how you chose. Yeah, tell us.
What do you want to know about us? What do you want to know about marriage? What do you want to know about maybe our wedding day even, which is the next episode that we have coming out for you guys. So until then, stay blessed, and we'll see you on the next episode of Pod With Us.